Hello friends, welcome back. I'm Angela Imagination, also known as Mrs. Imagination. You can call me either one. I'm so glad you came here because we didn't finish our book last time. Remember the book, Ira Says Goodbye by Bernard Waber? We didn't get finished with it and it left at such a pivotal time. I just really want to see what happened, but first, let's get caught up. If you remember, Ira was told that his best friend was moving. His sister told him that Ira's best friend, Reggie, was moving. Oh, he was so sad. He talked to his parents about it. And then he thought about all the things they'd done together. They had a tree house, a secret hiding place. They did magic tricks and had a club. All those fun things. They went to each other's birthday parties. They shared baseball cards. They took care of each other's pets. And they sent each other cards whenever they were sick or away from each other. They were good friends. They were best friends. They even shared a turtle tank. Their turtles, Felix and Oscar, lived together and they shared the tank. Ira had it some days and Reggie had it other days. So when Ira went to Reggie to find out about him moving and to talk to him about it, they were both so sad. But then the next day, Reggie seemed to change. All he did was act excited about moving. He told Ira about an aquarium where a killer shark lived in Glendale and how awesome that was. He told Ira that there was a park where there were thriller rides and fireworks. Reggie told Ira about the lake that had the swans and the ducks that let you feed it and how wonderful and happy the people were there and how friendly they were. Ira seemed excited about moving, and that made Reggie even sadder. And then over the next few days, Reggie came and took his magic act items, his cape, his hat, his wand. He took back some of his baseball cards and he came to take his turtle, Oscar. Oh, that was hard. Ira said, no, they can't be parted. They can't be apart from each other. They'll die. And Reggie didn't believe that. So Ira let Reggie take both the turtles. And the more he got to thinking about it, Ira got mad. And he realized there were some things about Reggie he didn't like when they talked on the phone and Ira said, you're talking to me right now, aren't you? And it just made Ira mad. And then when he ate, he talked with his mouth full and showed food. And in fact, Ira said he couldn't wait for the next kid who moved down the street. He wanted him to be his new best friend. Oh, Ira said some things. Ira said some things that I wonder if he really meant. Do you think he really meant those things? Let's see. Let's catch up on the book. I didn't have long to wait. One day, a big van pulled up to Reggie's house. I watched as the men carried everything out of the house. When the house was empty, Reggie and his parents came outside. Reggie was carrying the tank with Felix and Oscar in it. My parents and sister were there too. Everyone hugged. Everyone except Reggie and me. "Aren't you going to say goodbye?" said Reggie's mother. Suddenly, Reggie burst out crying and couldn't stop. He cried and cried, and no amount of patting him seemed to help. "Reggie's taking this move so hard," said his father. At last, when Reggie stopped crying, he handed me the tank. He said, "Here, Ira, you keep them." You're giving Felix and Oscar to me?" I said. "Uh-huh," said Reggie. I was so surprised. I dug into my pocket for my baseball cards and handed Reggie the one I always knew he wanted. "You're giving me your favorite card?" said Reggie. "Uh-huh," I said. This time it was Reggie's turn to be surprised. We all waved goodbye at Reggie and as Reggie and his parents drove away. When their car disappeared, we looked at each other. Everyone was sad. "There's only one thing to do at a time like this," said my mother. "What?" I said. "Let's go into the house and bake a cake." "Excellent," said my father. "What kind of cake?" said my sister. "How about angel food?" said my mother. And that's just what we did the day Reggie moved. We baked a cake. That night, the telephone rang. "It's for you, Ira," said my father. It was Reggie. "What are you doing?" he said. "Talking to you," I said. "Stop fooling," said Reggie. "I'm eating cake," I said. "Listen," said Reggie, "would you like to visit at my house this weekend? My father can pick you up." "Oh, would I?" said. "Will your Uncle Steve be there?" "Uh-huh," said Reggie. "Great," I said. "I can't wait." "Just a minute," said Reggie. "My mother wants to ask your mother if it's all right for you to come." My mother got on the telephone. "Say yes," I whispered. Hello. Oh, hello, Ellie." Ellie is Reggie's mother. "How are things?" said my mother. "Say yes," I whispered. My mother said, "Uh-huh." And then she said some more uh-huhs. And then she said, "Yes, yes, yes, yes." She kept saying that. "Yes, yes, yes," I kept shaking my head. And then she said, "Oh, won't that be nice?" I knew what she meant by nice. "It will be very nice," I whispered. "You're sure it won't be trouble?" she said. "It won't be trouble," I shook my head. Saturday, my mother looked at me, hugging myself. "I know he'll be delighted." My mother hung up. "Guess what?" she said. "I'm invited to Reggie's house," I called out as I ran up the stairs. "Ira, where are you going to now?" said my father. "Up to pack," I said. "But you're not leaving until Saturday," said my mother. "You have 2 whole days to pack." "I don't want to be late," I said. Oh, wow. So as it turned out, even though Reggie did have to move, he really was sad about it. And they got to tell each other goodbye and remain friends. That makes Mrs. Imagination so happy. Oh, but let's go back and see what's in our basket. Let's see. The first item was a calendar. Why do you think a calendar was in my basket? Well, do you remember? Ira was going to be moving in 2 weeks. 1, 2. 2 weeks is like 14 days. That's not very long when you think about it. And then he moved on a Thursday. Let's see, we're Thursday. On a Thursday, and called that night. And Ira was going to go stay with him for the weekend on Saturday. Yeah, that's why that calendar was there, to show us about the lapse of time in days. Very good. Now this, do you remember this card, this pretty card? What does this remind you of in the book? Does it remind you of the time when Ira sent Reggie a card in the hospital? And then Reggie sent Ira a card when he was visiting his grandparents? Yeah, cards are so nice to send people. They let them know that you care. And best friends usually do things like that. Okay, the final thing in my basket was the turtle. And oh yes, turtles were so important in our story. Ira and Reggie both had a turtle, and they shared a tank that they lived in, and that was just so sweet. That was a sweet part about that story, was that they shared their pets with each other. Oh, wow. So there were so many emotions in that story. Has anything like that ever happened to you? We don't have much time for activities, so let me very quickly tell you something about our writer's notebook. Sometimes our ideas about what to write about come from our real life, things that happen, like someone moving, someone important to us, a baby being born in our family, or maybe some fun vacation we have, maybe something not so fun that happens. So we can always get ideas for what we want to write about from our own life. The final activity that Mrs. Imagination wants to share with you are some ways to say goodbye and hello. First of all, in sign language, the way to say hello is to put your hand up like this and then do this. That's hello. Goodbye is very simple. It's this, although sometimes people will sign goodbye. You know, there are a lot of ways to say goodbye. You can say peace out. You can say see you later, alligator. So long, crocodile. Farewell. It's not very fun to say goodbye, but sometimes it happens. Well, I hope you've enjoyed reading Ira Says Goodbye. I've had a delightful time sharing this with you, and it's all because of a picture book. I look forward to your next visit. Until then, see ya.